All right, everybody. This is Dave at Dave's Garage. You may wonder, what in the hell are we doing today? Well, I'm getting the ECU reflash tomorrow. Don't have to pay full price, just a fraction, just to get the right map loaded in here. Because what we are going to do, I've already pulled the ECU out, which was, kind of a pain to get all the stuff you have to do, take off the side panels and a bunch of screws and this and the controller for the, for the exhaust valve, all that shit had to come up to get the ECU out. Used to be easy. Used to be under a side panel up under here, but since they removed all that stuff, it ain't there no mo. So that's all out. We're going to Chris Moore to get it flashed tomorrow. I'm just going to take in the ECU. And I have ordered the Leo Vinci decat link pipe. So we're going to get our noise on. It is a resonator. It has a resonator chamber in there, so it'll take down some of that hollow metallic kind of raspiness sound, but it's going to sound really badass. I just decided, kept trying to talk myself out of it. No, I'm just going to keep it stock, and I'm just like, oh, screw it. I'm just going to go buy the damn thing. So what we're going to do is today is part one. I've already ordered the part. It's not going to be here. I'm going to get the ECU flash tomorrow. We'll put that back in tomorrow. So maybe I'll do a quick video on how to reinstall that. That way you can see how it would uninstall. So today is part one, is going to be taking off the exhaust. So a couple things we got to do is we need to unscrew the O2 sensors. We're going to need to remove the muffler. We're going to have to take off this cover. We're going to have to take off the cables for the exhaust valves, and then we're going to pull the cables up through here. We'll leave the servo on, but we're going to take the cables off of it and then mount it back up in there. Unless the ECU flash removes it, and then I can remove that and free up a little bit of space, maybe for a little multi-tool or something. But I know that on this bike, he said the way the flash works is that you cannot remove the O2 sensors. He'll disable them for the tune, but if you disable them, or you actually remove them and unplug them from the harness, what's going to happen is you're going to lose your cruise control. And I don't want that. So let's see. Let's move this down a little bit. It is on wide angle, so might get a little fisheye effect here. But let's see if I get that right about here. So it looks like I'm going to need is probably a 17. That looks like a 10. So those are easy enough. We're going to need to take off over here. It's one screw here. That's a hex, and a hex down here, and that's going to pop right off. So actually, let's start with the easiest thing. And let me go get my hex. But you may notice that the audio doesn't change as I walk away. It's because I'm using a wireless mic that is clipped to my shirt. So if I move around, I go tell the dogs to shut up, which is going to happen. It always happens. It's going to happen at some point. Dogs are annoying and smart at the same time. I love my dogs. Everybody knows that. Even though I talk shit about them when they make noise and annoy me when I'm trying to video something. But, because I don't like listening to dogs bark all the time. That part sucks. Yeah, so the whole piece of this big box. What's really cool about the way Yamaha does this is you take the muffler off. This muffler, let's see. I mean, it's straight through, right? You see daylight on the other side? That's straight through. It's a wide open pipe. So you don't need an aftermarket pipe. It's titanium. It's lightweight. So you're not even going to save any weight going to carbon fiber. Unless you just want to spend the money. You really don't have to. Let's see. We need this one for these. There we go. All right, take this off. There's another screw over here. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to ride Sunday. This is going to be a part. Plus the ECU flash won't be the right flash for this cat box. We're going to have this all apart, and I'm just not going to ride the bike until the new pipe comes in, which is fine because I got two other bikes. Plus, technically, my wife's Ducati, so... Another reason to have more than one bike, kids. This is going to have a bit of a fisheye effect. I have it on super wide to make sure, because I noticed last time I had the camera a little too close, and it was on linear, And so some of the stuff wasn't actually correctly in the shot. So, yeah. So I'm going to take some of that stuff out by putting it in super wide angle, which may make it look fatter or make things look a little distorted. And it is what it is. So, all right. So we need to take out the cables. And then there's going to be a mount here, here, maybe one on the other side. We'll go around and check that. But once I get these cables off, we're going to have to unscrew these. So you can kind of pull some of this slack out a little bit just to free it up. We're going to have to carefully unscrew that. And when you put it back, there's a trick. You want to wind it all in the other way and kind of almost kink it up so that as you screw it in, it'll unkink it and it'll look like that. So, all right. So I need to go get a pair of needle nose because we're going to need to take, where can I get a wrench? Box end wrench. Let me see what I need to get for that. Okay. Also going to get regular pliers. Going to get some extensions for my impact wrench. We shall get that. Let's see, what else do I need? Oh yeah, box end wrenches. Don't know which size, so I'm going to get an 8, a 10, and a 12. I doubt I'm going to need any more than that. So, what we need to do is, I'm guessing that would be a 10. We're going to loosen these so I can get enough slack in there. Move that nut out the way so that this can come out. Once I can get that out, I can take a needle nose pliers. Yeah, this metal piece being bent at that weird angle. There we go. Boom. Got that one out. Let's loosen this one. And being that the link pipe's going on, I mean, you're never really going to be putting it back to stock. So I'm not going to cut the cables necessarily unless I can't pull them through. But if I disconnect them up on the other end, and we'll show you that, then that should be fairly easy. God, my allergies are freaking killing me. The hardwoods now are starting to, the pollen, and that's the shit that really gets me. So if I sound congested and stuffy, it's not from my Coke habit. All right, so those are off and physically removed. And we can unhook those and just push them out the way. When we disconnect the cables on the top, we should be able to just pull that shit on through. If I have to cut it in the middle and pull out both ends, I'll do that, but I try not to do that shit. All right, so, we need a wrench for the O2 sensors. So let's start with the one on this side, and I think I said it was a 17. I was just eyeballing it. Let's see if I was right. Yup. So we need to loosen that. Now as you unscrew this, notice that cable's starting to twist. So you got to hold it because it almost wants to twist back. Hopefully, I don't have to twist it so many times that it's going to put any undue stress on anything. But you cannot disconnect these from the harness. For some reason, I don't know why. There we go. So when you want to put it back on, see how it just spun back? You're going to want to spin it like 6 or 7 times counterclockwise, and then when you screw it in, it's going to do that. And loosen up. All right, so let's go get the one on the other side. So this one, right here. So let's loosen that. Luckily, they're not really torqued down anything crazy. Now I might want to pull the wire out of here so it can spin and twist and unkink a little bit, but let's see if I can get it out without going too crazy here. Okay, not too bad. When I put it back in, now that it's out, I'll have to remember in the part 2 to unhook this one right here because it's kind of crimping it there, so I was having to do all the twisting right there, which I don't want to do because it might put more stress on the wires. Although they're fairly beefy, they seem like they're not going to go anywhere. All right, so we got the O2 sensors out. Here's another mount right here. So I'm going to take my impact and hex head, and I should be able to just go around and unbolt those. Right now I'm going to leave them clamped to the headers just to keep it from dropping. So you will need what you need. Nope. We need this one. I don't know what size that is. What is it? Husky 6 mil? Looks like a 6 mil. All right, let's double check, make sure that is for that. Yeah. Save some of these bolts because you may need one of them to remount the new pipe. All right, so that one's out, that one's out. There should be one on the other side. I'm not going to move the camera. Just going to go ahead and remove this. All right, so now all that should be holding these on are the clamps that are mounted to the, where'd my adapter go? I'm missing something. Oh, there it is. How fucking tight is that? Let's bump it up a little. All right. Now, I don't know if the new pipe's going to come with new clamps or if you're going to reuse these. So I'll just keep them together with that. Let's go to the other side. And there's a clamp here. All right, nice and loose. So now, hold on, take my holster off because I'm laying on my side. It's gonna dig into me if I roll over. So here, should be able to just kind of rock this thing. Okay, that's loose. All right. Ooh, that's a big boy. All right. Now that that is off, let's see. Let us look at this monstrosity. Holy shit, that's like 15 pounds. That's got catalytic converters in the ends in each side. What's good about this is there's no cats in those headers. That is now straight headers. When you put on the link pipe, it's a straight, wide open with just a small resonator chamber. And then you've got the open muffler. So at that point, all the restriction, this has 4 into 2. There's a big ass cat in here, and there might be another one up in here somewhere, but all your catalytic converters are in this box. So unlike some of the other bikes where you take off the slip-on and the muffler, but then you still got cats up in the headers you got to knock out or replace the headers, this actually takes them all out. So that's how you remove that. It's 3 or 4 bolts, the cables. We'll go ahead now, because it ain't going back in there, that thing. So this thing, I believe this box has to stay in because if it doesn't see that, it might throw a code. So we're just going to leave that plugged in. I mean, I'm not worried about saving the extra pound there. We're saving tons of weight by getting rid of that box. But I do need to either zip tie these cables up out of the way, or depending on how these are mounted in here, I may just cut the damn cables. I'm probably just going to take the wire cutters and cut them. We're never going to use them again. I mean, I don't plan on going back to the stock exhaust and flashing the bike back to stock. So against my better judgment, it'd be easier to just cut those. And of course that would necessitate the use of my diagonal cutters, which where the shit did, oh, there they are. There they are. So leave your O2 sensors plugged in. They're going to get plugged into the Leo Vinci system, has those spots for them. But we are going to come here and we're going to just cut these. Point of no return, folks. I am fully committed now. All right, so those are out. And now I'm going to come up here, grab them. Looks like there's a adjustment thing right there that makes them hard to pull out. So what we're going to do is cut them right there. Let's double check and make sure that that is in fact the right cable. Yep, I'll make sure we're cutting brake lines right. So we'll go ahead and cut these here. Damn, thing is hard to cut. There we go. So I got that one cut. Pull that out. Let's see. Look at that. All right, so we got that one cut. So I can pull that one up here. We'll remove the other end. And then there's this one. It's so cramped for space in here. I'm trying to... All right, let me make sure. That is this one right here. So I'm going to pull this slack right there. We're going to cut it. Right there. We can pull that end out. And now, should be able to just yank these whole things right through. So, let's see. There's some little mounting tabs and shit down here that this thing goes into, which we don't really need. So I guess what I can do is pop that out. Look at that. I gotta adjust the height of this thing. I got a real tripod. We at Dave's Garage are getting fancy, yo. All right, take that out. This is a little bracket that's just there for holding the cables. There's like a little arm and the pieces go through that. So I should be able to just take this. This may have to go back in. So let's save those screws. Come on, damn it. All right, pull these out. And then we can put these back in, because I think that went in like that. I don't know which one we're going to have to use to mount the mid pipe. So I believe that one came in like that. And we'll just loosely thread those screws back in. Come on, damn it. Huh. Man, I know they go in. All right, well, we'll set those aside. We'll see if we even need them. If we do, well, you know what? I don't want to forget between now and then. So those either go in, I think like that. We'll just loosely thread them in. Don't need to torque them down. Not yet. Okay. So now that we've removed that, got that just hand tight. Okay. At this point, we just have these ends of the cables to remove. So I'm just going to take off these screws. I'll see if I can get the camera up that high. I think it's just going to be these two screws, and then we're just going to unhook the cables. So let's see if I can get how high I can get this thing. Yeah, that might be enough. All right, I need a Phillips. And we'll just take these out. All right, now we'll just put those back. And then this thing will get put back into place. I don't have to worry about it setting the endpoints and doing whatever, because he's going to disable that in the tune. Actually, it may, well, I don't know if it was on the tune that he did already, but it will be on the next tune. And then this is just going to plop back in there like that. Tighten that down so it doesn't rattle. Yeah, so that's just going to go in like that. But the wires are still connected. So if for whatever reason it needs to see that it's physically connected so it doesn't give a fault, that's in. Tuck our wire back in. We're good to go. So that's all done. The cable's out. Technically, I can remove that bracket, so I'm going to take this plate off to get to the nut on the back. Just take off every little bit of things we don't need. Let's do that while we're talking about it. So this will be all pretty much ready to go. So the ECU is going to go in tomorrow. We'll do a part 2 of this video of reinstalling the ECU and all that nonsense. And then I will be able to just wait for that Leo Vinci pipe to come in. And at that point, it's going to be hook it up, slide it onto the headers, clamp them down on that end, and whichever mount back here, screw in the O2 sensors, slip the muffler back on. That's it. That's going to be all of a 10-15 minute install. It's going to be excellent. Totally excellent. All right, so I need a 10 mil. Yeah. Let's see, there's a 10. Just take that nut off. We don't need that little bracket hanging down. All right, and now this, because we will need that to mount the exhaust can back on there. So this will need to go back on. And at that point, we are done with part 1. Very simple, to remove those things, putting them back. The ECU, it's actually not all that hard. It looks hard because you're like, oh, I got to remove all this shit to get to it. And then you get into it and you're like, all right, well, that wasn't too bad. It took me 8 minutes, no joke. So putting it back shouldn't take much longer than that. So there you have it. Tighten these down because that's what your exhaust is going to clamp to. So they'll be mounted, anchored to the headers down there. And then I think this one right here, there's going to be a bolt that's going to hang there as well. and then it's going to mount to the muffler, so that'll be 3 points. Well, 4, because headers front and left, left and right. You're going to have 2 anchors up front, a third, and then the muffler. That thing will be tight as a drum. It's going to look good. It's dropping a bunch of weight from the bike, which is awesome. And then, yeah, this is going to be good. I can't wait to get this all in there. Should have ordered the decat a while ago, and then I could have the pipe on there tomorrow, and then I could have it going, getting ready to ride on Sunday. But I'll just have to ride one of these things. So anyway, there you go. Dave's Garage, step 1, removing this giant monstrosity. That thing is, hold on, let me adjust my little selfie stick / tripod. This thing's about 12, 15 pounds. I mean, it weighs as much as a dumbbell. It's got a bunch of heavy metals in here. It's all steel. The headers are stainless, and the stock muffler is titanium, but this bad boy, dude, I mean, that's easily 15 pounds. So that's coming off. Well, it's already off. The exhaust valve is out. The catalytic converters are out. You know, I don't have a use for it, so I'll probably just take it to a recycler, see what sometimes they'll throw you 20 bucks for the catalytic converters. I can't imagine I'll ever need to reuse it again. But there you have it. Stage 1, step 1. Getting that can off, getting it all prepped. CPU out to get flash tomorrow. We'll do the video, second video of just putting it all back, putting the tail back together. And at that point, man, we're ready. That pipe comes in, that'll be a 10-15 minute install. Throw it in and go ride the shit out of it. It's going to sound amazing. It's going to pick up a little bit more power, mid-range. It's going to sound just awesome. And there you have it, everybody. Enjoy. Let me know if you got any questions or thoughts in the comments.